Have you ever wanted to go to LA or Hollywood and see where the stars live? Well, you better do it soon. They're all leaving. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to The World According to Briggs. Today we're going to take another look at the major exodus going on in California. A little different angle this time. We're looking at the celebrities that have fled the Golden State. For many years, you needed to live in LA or the Hollywood area to have a chance at a career in television or movies. That somewhat went for music too, but music was a little bit different. The record industry would send people out to find talent in different cities around the country. In the past, when some celebrities got famous, they would leave California to kind of live a normal life. Harrison Ford is a perfect example. He's lived in Jackson, Wyoming for years. More recently, Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson became Greek citizens. Yeah, not sure if they're going to move to Greece, but it looks like it's in the works. I mean, they became Greek citizens. Lately, this trend has been picking up steam and hitting the news outlets more and more every single day. And a lot of the reasons they're leaving are the same reasons the average Joe is leaving California. So let's take a look at what celebrities have left or are leaving California. Number 10, Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, even though he left Hollywood in 2015. This was just after the Avengers Age of Ultron hit the theaters, in which he played the Norse god Thor. He and his wife sold all their crap and moved down under. He's originally from Australia, so this wasn't much of a surprise. He played Thor in all the Thor movies and the Avengers, but he's not from Norway, in case any of you are confused. If you've ever seen his wife, you might be confused because she has blonde hair, blue eyes, and extremely attractive, like a true Norwegian girl. He was quoted as saying, "We were in LA for 7 years and got the opportunity not to have to be there full time. It was good to get back to Australia. And we live in a nice, quiet coastal town that couldn't be further from Hollywood, which is nice." It is rumored that he hated living in California because it was too crowded. Number 9, Mark Ruffalo. Sticking with the Avengers alum, we have the Incredible Hulk, Mark Ruffalo. Originally from Kenosha, Wisconsin, Ruffalo spent his teen years in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and then San Diego after high school, eventually making his way up to Los Angeles, where he started getting bit parts around 1989. Ruffalo and his wife permanently relocated to the rural countryside of upstate New York about 10 years ago. Today, the couple still remain in the small town of Calhoun, New York, on a 50-acre plot of land where they raise their 3 kids. It's only about 30 minutes away from my favorite small town of Honesdale, Pennsylvania. Calhoun is a nice little town on the Delaware River with less than 3,000 residents. I'd be surprised if more than 200 actually live in town. The rest, like the Ruffalos, are spread out around, the farms and such around town. Number 8, Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock has been what you would consider a Hollywood star since she was in the action movie Speed with Keanu Reeves. She'd been in other things before that, like one of my favorite movies, Wrestling Ernest Hemingway, but Speed is what put her on the map. Since the early 2000s, she's been one of the biggest female actors in the world. When she's not involved in filming or producing, which she does some of that too, she prefers to stay out of the spotlight. The Oscar-winning actress has been very open about not being a fan of social media. She's not on it at all. This helps her stay out of that dreaded spotlight. She splits her time between various properties all over the country: Austin, Texas, New York City, and she even lived in Los Angeles for a long time. These days, she claims New Orleans as her home, but she also has or did have a house on Tybee Island near Savannah, Georgia. So she's kind of gone southern on us. Anything stay out of Los Angeles, I guess. Some things that I read say that she hated the traffic and crowds and paparazzi and all that stuff, so that's why she headed to the south. Number 7, Elijah Wood. Frodo Baggins doesn't live in the Shire or Hollywood anymore. He's landed in the live music capital of the world, Austin, Texas. He was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and in 1989, his parents got a divorce, sold the family business, and the mom and kids headed to Los Angeles so Elijah could pursue an acting career. Looks like it worked out. It worked out so well, in fact, he doesn't have to live in Hollywood anymore to get jobs or parts or whatever you want to call it. The acting gigs come to him now. In an interview with IndieWire, Frodo Baggins claimed that he's always been treated like a local when in Austin. He said he enjoys the laid-back lifestyle, and you really can't get that in Los Angeles. He also is giving the whole DJ thing a go, so living in Austin probably helps move that along. I mean, I don't know what it is. Every once in a while when an actor decides they want to be a musician or a DJ too. I heard Paris Hilton drop from the limelight so she could become a DJ. Yeah. Number 6, Julia Roberts. Here's another one that hated the crowds, the paparazzi, and the stupidity that comes with living in and around the Los Angeles area. Julia Roberts' breakout performance was playing a rookie prostitute in Pretty Woman in 1990. Roberts went on to become one of the highest paid actresses in Hollywood throughout the 90s and early 2000s. The Pretty Woman spent a lot of years living and struggling in the Hollywood area trying to catch a break. She even worked at Chuck E. Cheese and had to dress up like Chucky and dance with the kids. That's humiliating. Anyway, like so many other celebrities, it appears she started to really dislike living in California for a whole bunch of reasons, paparazzi being one of the main ones. Roberts has since settled far away from the spotlight on a ranch in Taos, New Mexico. Her and her husband chose this secluded spot to raise their 3 children, where the paparazzi, traffic, serious taxes are rarely an issue. My understanding is the ranch is a good distance away from everything, so if any paparazzi do show up, they got quite a hike. Better bring water. Number 5, Tommy Lee Jones. Agent K was born in Texas in 1947. He went to Harvard on a scholarship and was roommates with future Vice President Al Gore while at Harvard. He played offensive guard in the famous 29-29 Harvard-Yale football game in 1968 that's known to this day as the tie. He received his degree in English literature and graduated from Harvard in 1969. In 1970, he made his film debut in The Love Story, which Love Story was actually written by another one of Al Gore's roommates. Yeah, kind of interesting. While living in New York, he continued to appear in various plays and things like that on and off Broadway. Finally headed to Los Angeles in the 1970s as his film career started taking off. It continued to take off and he purchased a 3,000-acre ranch near San Antonio. That's where he lives today, when he's not playing Agent K in Men in Black movies. From everything I've read, he always hated living in Los Angeles, couldn't stand it, and just spent as much time going back to San Antonio as he could. Number 4, Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively. So Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, but he lived in Los Angeles for quite a while. His wife, Blake Lively, was born and raised in Tarzana, California, which is a suburb of the Los Angeles metro area in what is known as the San Fernando Valley. Tarzana, interesting fact, is actually named for the books Tarzan. The author owned a ranch there that he had named Tarzana because that's where he made all his money in these Tarzan books, and eventually, when it became a town, they called it Tarzana. When these two got married and started having kids, they have 3 now, they moved to a small rural town called Pound Ridge. It's near Bedford, New York. They wanted to get their kids and not raise them in the Los Angeles area or New York or anything like that, so they moved to a nice rural area. Funny thing though, Ryan Reynolds calls their house the Blakery because I guess Blake Lively, she bakes all the time, so he's dubbed the house the Blakery. It's kind of funny. Number 3, Ben Shapiro. And now we get to the first of the people that inspired this list. Ben Shapiro is an American conservative political commentator, media host, and attorney. At age 17, he became the youngest nationally syndicated columnist in the United States. He is an author and shows up wherever there's a microphone that has electricity going to it, if my YouTube research is correct. That guy shows up everywhere. I don't know what it is. Every time I go to a different thing, he's there. He has a podcast called The Ben Shapiro Show, which was picked up and syndicated by Westwood One in 2018. That's the big radio distributor. He has a company with employees. He was born and raised in the Los Angeles area, and he went to the school at UCLA originally. He graduated Harvard, too. Just recently, he announced he's had enough of California and all its problems. Where's he going? Nashville. He's moving his company, all the employees, and his family to Tennessee because California has gotten that bad. It's pretty bad when a guy like Ben Shapiro moves to the outback of the United States, to middle America, because he's just had enough of this state. Number 2, Elon Musk. Elon Musk has done a lot and come a long way from a 12-year-old South African kid that sold a video game he created. Yeah, at age 12, he sold a game he created and coded himself. One thing led to another, and he started shooting crap into space. In February, Musk listed his Los Angeles home for $4.5 million, but in August it sold for $3.9 million. I don't think he cares about the reduction. The guy has truckloads of money. Musk is one of the first celebrities to start talking about skipping out on California. He announced in May of 2020 that he was moving his Tesla auto plant to Texas or Nevada because county authorities wouldn't allow him to reopen his plant due to the restrictions imposed by the pandemic. He hasn't done it yet, but it looks like it's going to happen. The governor says he's not moving, but when dudes start selling houses, yeah, and he has a few and he's listed them, I'd say someone's going someplace. We'll see. Stay tuned for that one. And number 1, Joe Rogan. And now, the poster boy for celebrities jumping ship on the Golden State, you have Joe Rogan. If you don't know who he is, he's a comedian, actor, UFC commentator, podcaster, and the guy that destroyed Carlos Mencia's career. I heard Carlos Mencia's working in an auto body shop someplace now. I could be wrong. Anyway, fresh off his signing of a $100 million deal with Spotify for his podcast, Joe Rogan made headlines in July by announcing he and his family were moving to Texas and taking his whole podcast thing with him. Rogan has lived in California for more than 25 years. He moved to Los Angeles in 1994, and shortly after that began appearing in TV shows like News Radio and things like that. As recently as 2018, he purchased a new home for almost $5 million and didn't stop him from jumping ship. And he offered his reasons on his podcast. And I quote him, "I just wanted to go somewhere in the center of the country, somewhere where you have a little more freedom. When you look at the economic despair, when you look at the homelessness, problems that accelerated radically over the last 6, 7, 10 years, I think there's too many people here and I think it's not tenable." That's what he said on his podcast about why he was leaving. He pulled the trigger on the move a month or two ago, and I'm sure he's going to be one of many that do that in the coming months and years. All right, that's our list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. You know, everyone's leaving California. It's not a pretty sight, but there's still people moving in there. I don't know. I don't get it. The weather's nice. California's a nice state, a lot of entertainment. Is it worth it? I don't think so. And looks like a lot of other people don't think so anymore either. Anyway, don't forget all the links below. Give the video a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and hit that little bell notification so, YouTube, when they decide to, they'll tell you when I upload it. You don't miss anything. All right, everyone, have a great day. Be nice to each other.